He's had some killer hits, selling more than 30 million records worldwide.
When I started making music, or I didn't play guitar at the time, and I was making these demos, and they were interesting.
Seal, the man behind timeless hits like Kiss from a Rose. Over a career spanning 3 decades, award-winning singer-songwriter Seal has sold more than 20 million records worldwide. He's achieved several #1 hits, has spent decades captivating the world with his soulful voice. But these days, his life looks very different from the heights of fame he once enjoyed. As he approaches 62, questions about his health, career, and personal life have left fans both concerned and curious. What happened to the superstar who once seemed unstoppable? Join us as we uncover the bittersweet reality of Seal's life today. Seal's life behind the fame. Seal, the man who gave the world hits like Kiss from a Rose and Crazy. Known by his stage name as Seal, an English singer and songwriter, he has sold more than 30 million albums worldwide and is famous for his international hits including Kiss from a Rose. Has lived a life full of triumphs and challenges. Now approaching 62, his story is one of great talent mixed with personal battles and a quieter existence than many might expect from such a global star. But behind his fame lies a reality that may surprise his fans. Keep watching to learn what makes Seal's life today a mix of happiness and sadness. Born Seal, Henry Samuel in London. His journey to success was anything but easy. His parents separated when he was young, and he was raised by a foster family for much of his childhood. Later, when he reunited with his mother, Seal revealed that their relationship was strained and often difficult. These early experiences shaped his music, filling it with deep emotion. But it wasn't just his upbringing that left its mark. Seal is instantly recognizable for his iconic voice and the scars on his face. These scars are the result of a condition called discoid lupus erythematosus, which he developed in his early 20s. Lupus is a disease where the body's immune system attacks itself, and the type he has causes serious skin damage. So discoid lupus is a chronic cutaneous condition. Cutaneous simply means skin that is distinct from SLE or systemic lupus erythematosus. Seal once spoke about this in an interview, saying there is an old adage that says scars are like tattoos with more interesting stories. Well, this was my story. There's that old adage, scars are like tattoos, but with more interesting stories. Well, this was my story. This was my information. Seal's music career took off in the 1990s, and he quickly became a global sensation. Seal's smooth voice and heartfelt song lyrics connected with millions of people, winning him many Grammy Awards and recognition worldwide. The record of the year is Kiss from a Rose. Seal. Trevor Horn, producer. At the peak of his fame, Seal seemed unstoppable. But fame doesn't protect anyone from life's hardships. As the years went on, his personal life began to fall apart. One of the most public aspects of his life was his high-profile marriage to supermodel Heidi Klum. The pair married in 2005 and became one of Hollywood's most admired couples. They renewed their vows every year and seemed inseparable, raising 4 children together. But by 2012, cracks began to show. After 7 years of marriage, the couple announced their divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Heidi Klum and Seal are getting divorced. Seal later admitted that their split was painful, especially as he figured out how to be a father during that difficult period. Still, Seal kept his focus on his children. He and Heidi share 3 biological children and 1 adopted son, whom Seal raised as his own. In interviews, he has expressed how much his children mean to him, even as his relationship with Heidi has grown more distant. Today, being a parent is still a central and important part of his life, but it hasn't come without struggles. Co-parenting with Heidi has sometimes been a challenge, especially as they've moved on with their personal lives. In recent years, Seal has been living a quieter life, far from the constant spotlight. He hasn't released a full album since 2017, focusing instead on selective performances and collaborations. While he occasionally makes public appearances, they are few and far between compared to his earlier days of fame. Fans have noticed this shift, with some even speculating about his health and well-being. Seal himself has acknowledged that aging has made him more reflective and less focused on chasing fame. Yet his life today isn't all about peace and quiet. He once described how, despite the millions of fans and global recognition, there are moments where he feels isolated. This feeling isn't uncommon for artists who've spent decades in the spotlight, only to step back later in life. But there's still more to Seal's story. What lies beneath his quiet lifestyle? Keep watching as we explore the struggles and surprising turns his life has taken over the years. A life shaped by pain and perseverance. Seal's life is not just a tale of music and fame. It's also a story of overcoming pain, both physical and emotional. While his voice brought him global recognition, it was his ability to bounce back from life's challenges that shaped him into the person he is today. But even now, as he nears 62, Some of those battles have followed him, making his life far from perfect. One of Seal's earliest and longest struggles is with his health. The lupus condition didn't only leave scars on his face, it also caused other complications. Lupus doesn't just affect the skin, it can also lead to fatigue, joint pain, and emotional strain. It's very important that this fatigue in lupus is not chronic. It's a fatigue that accompanies the activity of lupus and generally resolves once the activity resolves itself. Any kind of symptom can be a sign of lupus. Seal has shared that living with lupus requires constant care and attention, even as he tries to maintain a normal life. In interviews, Seal has spoken about how his condition affected him in his younger years. He said it impacted his confidence and the way people treated him. But he also explained that it helped him develop a tough skin, both literally and figuratively. For someone who became a global icon, this was very important. Even though he achieved incredible success, Seal's health challenges didn't end there. Over the years, he's had to make lifestyle changes to manage his condition. Maintaining his voice has also required care, as lupus can sometimes cause inflammation that affects the throat. These struggles aren't always visible to the public, but they're a constant part of his life. But Seal's battles haven't only been with health. His personal life has also been full of ups and downs. After his picture-perfect marriage with Heidi Klum ended, one of entertainment's hottest couples is calling it quits. Model Heidi Klum and singer Seal confirming overnight that their marriage is over. There were many rumors about the reasons for the divorce. While both Seal and Heidi have been relatively private about the details, Seal admitted later that their personalities sometimes clashed, and despite the end of their marriage, Seal has always maintained that their children remain his top priority. He's been open about how co-parenting isn't always easy. Heidi, who has since remarried, has a busy schedule, and so does Seal. Balancing their separate lives while ensuring their children feel loved and supported has been a lot. Seal has said that he doesn't always agree with Heidi's decisions, but he respects her as a mother. Seal's love for his children is evident. In interviews, he's spoken about how being a father changed him. He has described moments of pure joy, like teaching his kids about music or watching them grow into their own unique personalities. However, he has also admitted that parenting comes with its challenges, especially when he's apart from them for long periods. Since his divorce, Seal hasn't remarried or been in any highly publicized relationships. While he's been linked to a few women over the years, none of these connections have seemed to last. Seal himself has hinted that he's not in a rush to find love again. He lives a quieter, more introspective life now. What's more, his career has seen its share of highs and lows. While he remains one of the most respected artists of his generation, the music industry has changed drastically since his peak in the 1990s. The rise of streaming platforms and social media has shifted how artists engage with fans, and Seal hasn't fully embraced this new digital era. Some critics have pointed out that this has made him less visible in recent years. However, Seal has never been one to chase trends. He's always been about authenticity, and that hasn't changed. While he hasn't released a full album since Standards in 2017, he occasionally performs at events or collaborates with other artists. These appearances remind fans of his incredible talent. Well, I've experienced the audience before because I've played here, so it was incredible. They were incredibly rapturous, even if they're less frequent than before. In addition to his music, Seal has tried to use his platform for good. Over the years, he has supported various charitable causes, including organizations that help children in need and those focused on healthcare. His experiences growing up in a tough environment have made him particularly passionate about giving back. However, Seal has admitted that he doesn't always feel like he's done enough. These days, Seal's life is a mix of reflection and routine. He's no longer the constant presence in the media that he once was, and he seems to prefer it that way. But this quieter lifestyle has also raised questions. Some fans worry that Seal might be struggling behind closed doors. His lupus, his divorce, and the natural aging process all play a part in how he lives today. There's a sadness in how Seal has retreated from the public eye. While he still performs occasionally, he no longer seems as eager to share his life with the world. But maybe that's exactly what he wants. A life where he can focus on himself and his family without the constant pressures of fame. But Seal's story isn't over yet. What does the future hold for the man whose voice once captivated millions? Keep watching to find out. The weight of fame and isolation. Seal's success may have brought him wealth and fame, but it also came with a cost. For many artists, life in the spotlight can be isolating, and Seal has not been immune to this. Despite millions of fans worldwide and decades of accomplishments, he has often spoken about the loneliness that can come with fame. One of the challenges Seal has faced is the shift from being a global superstar to living a quieter, less public life. During the height of his career in the 1990s and early 2000s, Seal was everywhere. performing at sold-out shows, winning awards, and dominating music charts. But as the music industry evolved, with social media playing a bigger role in connecting with fans, Seal didn't adapt the way younger artists have. For Seal, it was just about making music, not fame. And even though he prefers to stay out of the limelight, it hasn't shielded him from criticism or rumors. Over the years, tabloids have speculated about his health, finances, and relationships. Some fans have expressed concern over his less frequent public appearances, questioning if he's doing okay. While Seal hasn't addressed every rumor directly, his limited presence has added to the mystery surrounding his current life. Another factor that has contributed to Seal's sense of isolation is the nature of his music. Many of his biggest hits, like Kiss from a Rose and Don't Cry, are deeply emotional and introspective. This ability to tap into raw feelings has endeared him to fans, but it's also made him a highly sensitive person. Seal's relationships, or lack thereof, have also played a role in how he lives today. Seal has hinted that he's become more guarded when it comes to love. "Would I get married again?" he shared in a rare interview. Well, it's a flawed concept. It simply does not work. This cautious approach to relationships has extended to his friendships as well. While Seal has a small circle of close friends, he doesn't seem to thrive in large social settings. Instead, he spends much of his time alone or with his children. Seal has spoken about how he values quality time with his kids, whether it's playing music together or simply watching a movie. For him, these moments of connection are more meaningful than being surrounded by crowds. But being a single father hasn't been easy for Seal. While he's deeply committed to his children, co-parenting with Heidi Klum has come with its share of challenges. Heidi's busy schedule as a model, television host, and entrepreneur means she's often on the move. Our first guest is one of the most famous supermodels in the world. She's also an Emmy-winning host and a judge on America's Got Talent All-Stars. Give it up for the one and only Heidi Klum. And Seal's own commitments sometimes pull him away from his kids as well. He told US Weekly, "It can be challenging. It requires teamwork. If you are a team, if both parents are a team, then it's really easy. And that's not a real challenge at all. But you have to be a team. It can be challenging. But then it requires teamwork. You know, and if you are a team, if both parents are a team, then no, it's really easy. That's not a real challenge at all. And if you're not a team, then it can all fall to pieces." Despite these obstacles, Seal has made it clear that his children are his priority. Seal's quiet lifestyle has given him more time to reflect on his past. In interviews, he has admitted to feeling regret over some of the choices he made earlier in his career. He's spoken about how the pressures of fame and success sometimes led him to neglect his personal life. "Whenever I think back on all the records that I have made, the value has been in the process, not in the end result," he said in an interview. "I don't really care what happens to it afterwards because it is out of your hands. It is about the incredible moments where you are in a room with your favorite players and they do something that is magical. Then you harness that energy for the record." Seal remains grateful for the life he's built. He's spoken about how his journey from a tough upbringing in London to international stardom has shaped him into the person he is today. While he may not be in the spotlight as much anymore, Seal has found peace in focusing on what truly matters to him: his music, his children, and his well-being. But even with this peace, Seal's life today is far from perfect. The physical effects of aging and his battle with lupus continue to affect him. While he doesn't often discuss his health publicly, those close to him have noted that he's had to slow down in recent years. Fans who've seen him perform recently have commented on how he still gives his all on stage, but it's clear that his performances take a toll on him. Seal's quieter existence has come with not just admiration, but also concern from his fans. Some applaud his decision to step away from the pressures of fame, while others worry about what might be going on behind the scenes. Seal himself has remained tight-lipped, preferring to let his music and rare public appearances speak for him. So, where does Seal go from here? Does he plan to release new music, or will he continue to fade further from the spotlight? Stay with us, because there's still more to uncover about this remarkable artist's life. Struggles in the shadows. While Seal's talent and achievements remain undeniable, his journey has been marked by challenges that are hard to ignore. Over the years, his quieter lifestyle and absence from the public eye have led many to wonder what life is truly like for him now. One major struggle Seal has had to face is the toll that time and health issues have taken on him. Living with lupus is no small feat. The autoimmune disease doesn't just leave physical scars, but also impacts energy levels, causing fatigue and discomfort. This condition requires constant monitoring, and as Seal ages, managing it becomes even more challenging. The physical strain is visible, and even though he rarely talks about it publicly, it's something that can't be overlooked. While his voice remains powerful, Seal has had to adjust to his body's limitations. He isn't the same energetic performer he once was, and that's understandable. Aging is a natural process, but for someone who's spent decades in the demanding world of music, the effects are more obvious. Adding to the challenges is Seal's relationship with his career. Though his name still carries weight, he hasn't released much new music in recent years. His 2017 album, Standards, was well received. The whole Standards record was such a different discipline. It taught me relaxation, but it was more of a tribute to classic songs than a showcase of original material. Since then, his output has slowed significantly, leaving fans hoping for more. But then creating music isn't as simple as it used to be for Seal. The industry has changed drastically, and the way artists connect with fans has shifted to platforms like social media. Seal has never been one to embrace those changes. He prefers privacy, which puts him at odds with the constant engagement many younger artists rely on today. This disconnect has made it harder for him to stay in the spotlight, even though his talent is still undeniable. Beyond his career, Seal's personal life continues to be a point of curiosity. While some might see his not being in any publicly known long-term relationship as a personal choice, others worry it's a sign of deeper struggles. Being alone isn't always easy, especially for someone who's spent much of their life in the company of others. Seal's role as a father remains one of the few constants in his life. He has spoken about how much his children mean to him, and even though co-parenting with Heidi Klum isn't always smooth, for my sons and daughters, I will say this: they got it a lot more figured out than that I ever did at their age. He's remained dedicated to being present for them. However, balancing this commitment with his personal challenges hasn't been without its difficulties. Financial concerns have also been a topic of speculation. While Seal enjoyed enormous success in the past, the music industry is unpredictable. Touring, which is a significant income source for many artists, became impossible during the pandemic. Like others in the industry, Seal likely felt the financial strain of those years. Though there's no concrete evidence to suggest he's struggling financially now, his reduced public appearances and performances raise questions. The pandemic likely deepened this sense of isolation. Like millions around the world, Seal spent much of that time away from loved ones and unable to do what he loves most: perform. For someone whose career is built on connecting with audiences, the extended break from live music was a difficult adjustment. Even now, as the world has reopened, Seal hasn't returned to performing as regularly as he once did. Despite these struggles, Seal's legacy remains intact. His music continues to resonate with fans across generations, and his voice is as iconic as ever. Songs like Kiss from a Rose have stood the test of time, ensuring that Seal's contributions to music will never be forgotten. But legacy alone isn't enough to fill the gaps left by a quieter, more isolated life. For fans who followed Seal's career, there's a sense of sadness in how much he's withdrawn from the public eye. They miss the vibrant performer who once dominated stages worldwide, and wonder what keeps him from returning in full force. Still, it's clear that Seal values his peace and privacy. After decades in an industry that often demands everything from its stars, perhaps stepping back is his way of preserving what matters most: his health and his family. I think we're both lucky enough that we have, first of all, really great children. Even so, his current lifestyle has sparked conversations about the toll fame takes on even the brightest stars. Seal's story is far from over, but his life now is different from the heights he once reached. What lies ahead for the singer remains uncertain. Will he surprise the world with new music? Or will he continue to live quietly far from the spotlight? Keep watching, because the final chapter of Seal's journey might just surprise you. A quiet but resilient future. Seal's life may have taken a quieter turn, but that doesn't mean he's given up. Despite his challenges, he remains a devoted father, spending much of his time with his children. For Seal, family is his safe haven. Away from the noise of fame, he finds joy in simple moments, like teaching his kids about music or supporting their dreams. While he's no longer a regular on the world's biggest stages, he hasn't abandoned his love for music. In recent years, he's focused more on small, intimate performances. These allow him to connect with fans in a deeper way, without the pressures of massive tours. For those lucky enough to see him live, his voice still carries the same magic it always has. Seal's life today reflects his priorities: peace, health, and meaningful connections. It's not the flashy lifestyle many associate with superstars, but it's one that works for him. His decision to step back from the spotlight shows a sense of self-awareness that many celebrities struggle to find. Even as he lives a quieter life, Seal's legacy continues to inspire. His music remains a source of comfort and connection for millions, proving that true artistry never fades. Fans may miss the Seal of old, but they can take comfort in knowing he's still here, living life on his own terms. What does the future hold for Seal? That's a question only time will answer. But one thing is clear: Whether he's in the spotlight or behind the scenes, Seal's impact on the world of music and his fans will never be forgotten. So what do you think about Seal's journey? Do you believe he'll make a big comeback? Or is this quieter path the one he'll continue? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.